Hi everybody, my name is Tyler Verhoff and this is my presentation for EDL 853 Module 3. In this module we focused on special education interviews. The people that I had the privilege of interviewing, I work with all of them at the school that I work at, which is a Board of Developmental Disabilities. We work with all disabled students, so our entire student body of 120 is all special needs. I interviewed Tara Shoemaker, my principal, special education teacher of 20, Michelle Rogers. Michelle is pictured in the picture, holding the torch with myself, and below her is her class. And that's kind of what like a primary education class, so years 1 through 5 would be like in our building. And I also interviewed teacher aide paraprofessional, who is also a parent of one of the students in my school, Kara. And she had a lot of interesting things to say. So we will start with identifying special needs. So how we identify special needs in our school is we start with EI, okay? So early intervention. We have a whole department for it, and it is located in the basement of our school. And from what my principal said, and I kind of know some of this knowledge too, from birth to 2, the parent or doctor, identifies the condition of the student, and they enroll for services with us. And everybody through EI kind of walks them through that, make sure they qualify for services. And once they're old enough and qualify, they will be enrolled into our preschool system at the Board of Developmental Disabilities, and that's kind of how they are admitted, and we identify exactly what is wrong with them before we even take on a new student. And these are kind of the same things over and over that we talked about in all the interviews, so I just kind of summarizing this particular one. Also, in the center of the page is the logo for our school. We're called Good Samaritan School, and we're the Defiance County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and underneath that title are 3 values that we hold pretty close to our chest: the individual, our community, and knowledge. I asked these 3, what is the most challenging part of your role in special education? Tara, my principal, said when you do absolutely everything that you can for a student and they just can't succeed because of their disability, that really frustrates and is very challenging for her. Michelle said she just can never find the time to do everything that she wants to do for the kids. I've seen this great teacher literally go out of her way so many times to buy just like shoes and shirts, hats, coats, gloves, things that these kids just don't have. And she gets frustrated because she feels like she can't do enough because she has a life too. Moving on to Kara, the parent, she has been having a lot of trouble trying to figure out what career she wants to do. Yeah, she is a paraprofessional at our school, but she has no time to think about that because she's so focused on her daughter Chloe and all of her disabilities. And she also stressed that it's challenging to trust anyone to care for her child because of all the disabilities that she has. In contrast, what is the most rewarding part of their job in special education? Principal Tara said student success through the programs that we have at the school are the most rewarding part because we've kind of crafted specific programs for them to succeed and for have them to go on and be successful in a job or to do whatever they can to their best ability. That's what's most rewarding for her. We work with a lot of skill task boxes where there is one specific skill that a student works on and then they'll move on to the next one, kind of like station work and physical education. Michelle Rogers said that her most rewarding thing is when a student finally achieves a skill that they have been working on for who knows how long, but can just never get it. But then something just clicks. She really loves that, she said. And she also stated that when her students are happy, that's when she's a happiness, like when that's her reward. In terms of parents, Kara said that when her child has a good day, like that is the most rewarding part, which is kind of cool. When she achieves just like little goals, she just really takes them to heart, and it's rewarding for her. Advice of supervision for OTs, adaptive physical education teachers, and speech pathologist. My principal, Tara, said you have to have realistic goals set for all these kids. We can't make anything too easy or too hard for them. And the specialists always need to be flexible when dealing with special education teachers because they just have so many more students than we do, and it's just will get complicated if we can't be flexible with the primary caregivers and teachers, and to communicate as much as possible. I just think that's important overall for just staff to have essential good relationships and great communication. Otherwise, the system of teachers is just not going to get the job done, at least in the right way, in my opinion. In terms of advice that Michelle, special education teacher, gave was make sure therapists are working one-on-one, especially with special education students. Try to be just as consistent as possible with your schedule. Being a specialist myself, I have my whole schedule is booked. Like, I've got globs of classes. So if I want to take a student out to work on like a skill like skipping, like I can't just go to her class, pull that student out, like he's going to miss something. So just to always be consistent with your schedule is one of the nuggets she said. And as a parent, she stressed that all specialists should know the specifics of each child's disability and what triggers them and what speed they go at and their reactions, and just to be down to earth and kind of go with the flow, go with them. And working effectively with parents and special needs, it's all about communication, every single one of them. Like, it really starts with the parents. My principal, Tara, said for a program, so for our school, we have to create a community. We have to create a family. Our school, the first time I was hired, I was told this is a family school. We don't dress super nice. We dress comfortable. We dress as if we were hanging out in our house because we want everyone to feel welcome. We want nobody to feel left out. And these are things that kind of just set up. This community will set up everything for success as you go along, as long as the people participate in the community. So that means putting on events for them, such as basketball games, athletic events, dances we put on. We do tons of events out in the community. And it just gives us that good PR, not only with the community around us, but with others' families. And we're just talked about all the time. So I think it starts with community and goes to family. And this is what Tara said. It was just a long conversation, and I'm trying to sum it up. Moving on to Michelle, she said that home journals are the way she communicates, but who knows if they're going to respond, if they're going to write below what she wrote. And a lot of these parents don't have the time to do that, but she sends home journals, she sends home a newsletter. And if there's ever an unordinary issue with one of the students, like if something like a parent separated, or mom was divorced dad and now she's back with another guy, like, teachers need to know that so they can prepare and help the student, because if they don't know what happened, they don't know why they're going to be having the reaction that they would that day in class. So just try to communicate with teachers as much as possible, even though it's probably one of the hardest things to do as a teacher. And effectively, Kara says that she talks face-to-face with Chloe's teacher Robin every day, and I can back that up because I walk the halls and I see her talking to her before and after each day, and her success in Chloe's success in a year and a half has just been incredible, and that's all because of the proper communication with teachers and parents. So this question doesn't quite apply to the school that I work at, but I did my best to kind of try to sum up everything. Tara said that she does go to meetings with regular education teachers to kind of communicate the IEPs of some of the students who may be on the borderline or like higher on the spectrum who could function in a regular school. And so she just kind of would communicate the needs. And Michelle said I would just notify regular ed of triggers. And Kara said that the regular education teachers would need to do research on the condition, understand specific routines in terms of her daughter, and understand what motivates her, what interests her, what's going to get her to work. In terms of what they had for advice for a first-year administrator, my principal, Tara, said you have to have a love for the student body. You have to truly enjoy what you do, and you're going to need to write everything down, otherwise you're going to forget, because you have so many things that you have your mind on. If you don't write it down, that muscle memory will not put your thought into place unless you do that. Moving on to Michelle, the special education teacher, she said, please, please, please take time to get to know the families and develop a relationship so they can feel close to you and be able to work with parents, be flexible, and be aware of the factors at home and never judge, no matter the situation. And to the parent, Kara, she said, be personable as you can, and try to let students warm up to you and be calm and cheerful with them. Describing the role, teacher and building principal, the principal said she is the leader of the teachers. She is there to lead a well-oiled machine and to produce great results into her students. Special education teacher Michelle said she just needs to be there as a special education teacher for the parent. She said that you're going to need to manage personalities and make sure that all the students are being loved. Kara said that be wise of the teachers that you hire as a principal and recognize every teacher's strengths, and the teacher is kind of the mother hen of the students, and they're the doorway to the life for success for students in that world. The central kind of aspect here, and what I took away, is that having a sibling with developmental disabilities, having that exposure really helps out when you are trying to pick